fantasy short stories. Enhancacine by Roly Andrews. The saleswoman with the short skirt and bob said, "Yes, in the 22nd century, there's a move towards enhancement theory and practice." I nodded. Her sales patter was well honed. She was young and cute, and I was a sucker for a pretty face and nice legs. "You probably won't believe me," she added, "but I'm actually 46. "No way! You don't look a day over 21. "Not too far wrong," she conceded. "I purchased Enhancacine and dropped 23 years overnight." "My goodness. For real?" "Yes," she beamed. "Success guaranteed. Anyone aged between 25 and 60 can take a pill and have their age within 12 hours. No way. It's gotta be a con.
No, it's been scientifically developed, clinically trialed, and proven. It's now authorized for public use by the societal authority in 16 different preferences. May I scan you?"
Of course. She clipped the scanner off her belt, which tucked in her waist so tight I wondered how she breathed. It beeped after a few seconds.
"A strong reading. Ah, I thought so. You're an INFJ. Okay, let me check the specifications. And yes, here we are. The Societal Authority for INFJ encourages Enhancacine to prolong your influence on those around you. You have some unique talents and skills, sir. May I ask how old you are?"
Your scanner will tell you that, surely.
"Yes, but how will we develop meaningful dialogue and understanding if we don't communicate? I know you are a deep thinker and relationships are important to you."
I smiled. She was obviously using the latest psychometric Salesforce tool. "I'm 46 as well." She returned my smile.
"Well, imagine how much more you could achieve if you could do it all again."
I nodded. "Let me think about it."
"Of course. As I said before, I know you're a deep thinker. You like to reflect. Unlike most of the turbo kickers we see here, I know you will think about it. I'm here for the rest of the trade show, but we pack out at Deborah 2 tomorrow."
You guys operate on decimal time, then?
"The whole trade show does. As I said, it's all about enhancement."
"Okay, thanks," I said, stepping away. "There's no guarantee I'll buy anything, but let me think about it. I'll come back and let you know before Deborah 2 tomorrow."
I walked to the nearest well-being space, took the last reclinator by the holographic waterfall. I ordered refreshments. After quaffing mung bean wafers with a faux caramelized spinach topping, I inhaled some vaporized synthetic coffee. Natural coffee was twice the price, organic coffee thrice. Then I sat and pondered. I was 46. Tomorrow, I could be 23. WTF! It couldn't be that simple. The saleswoman hadn't mentioned the price, but that was immaterial. Currency was no barrier. She hadn't mentioned side effects either, although she seemed in the prime of health. However, digital carillons were beeping, chiming in my head, ringing an alarm I needed to deactivate. Ethics. That's what it was. They were sticking out like the historical big toe. I marched back to the Enhancacine stall. The saleswoman smiled as she saw me approach. "That didn't take long," she purred.
Sorry, I haven't really started the thought process. I need some information about ethics first."
"Of course, sir. I would have been surprised if you hadn't asked. We have a robust ethical process. We do this through an interactive questionnaire."
"It's not done independently?"
No. Why would it be? Enhancacine is not a treatment or a therapy. The enhancement versus therapy debate is well and truly over. Thank goodness.
The decision is completely autonomous, then?
Exactly. No regulation. So long as there is informed consent, there is complete freedom and personal choice.
The world has changed, I sighed. It was only a few hundred years ago that morality would have been a key factor in consideration.
Oh, I see, sir. I am not too young to remember.
In reality, we are the same age, but I choose to forget. The discovery of the single entity, the quarter mason from which we all originate and will all return, has made life a lot easier, has it not? Regardless of our actions, accomplishments, our misdeeds, we know we will all end up in the same place. Has this not made life easier? Free from sin, free from guilt, the right to choose without judgment and shame. I respect your right to live the life you choose, sir. I also respect your right to question. However, science has well and truly proven the existence of the single entity. Therefore, I see no reason to believe in a historical custom designed to wield power and control.
So it comes down to personal responsibility, then?
Yes, exactly, sir. Enhancacine is not for everyone, but we leave that choice to the individual.
Children, parents, parenting, spouses, the entire family construct? I imagine Enhancacine plays havoc with that dynamic.
Personal choice, sir. It simply adds weight to a very old-fashioned term, now coming back into vogue. Family planning.
Relationships? Delayed wealth transfer?
Personal choice, sir.
Oh my. That's a bit of a mind flip. It's hard to get my head around it. If I took Enhancacine tonight, I would wake up tomorrow and only be 3 years older than my daughter. I would be married to a woman not too far from menopause, yet I would be in my sexual prime. It's a minefield.
Yes, that's right, sir. But with all due respect, you're only focusing on negative things. Let's say you or a loved one were diagnosed with a terminal illness. Wouldn't you want to reset? Wouldn't you want to go back to the earliest possible moment to give the scientists more time to reconfigure the affected DNA? Let's say you were so madly in love with your partner that you both decided to take Enhancacine on the day before your 60th birthday. That way you can get at least another 30 years together.
Yes, of course, I interrupted. May I ask you a personal question? You don't have to answer.
Ask away. If it's too personal, I will tell you and then call security.
The saleswoman giggled. You're clearly an intelligent woman, an incredibly attractive one, too. And as good as you are at your job, I don't imagine you took Enhancacine to peddle enhancement theory and its products. So why did you take Enhancacine?
She brought her right index finger to her lips and raised her eyes towards the sterile white ceiling. It took a few minutes to gather her thoughts. I waited. Silence never scared me. You are perceptive, and your question is not too personal. I'm just trying to find the best way to frame my answer. Imagine, she started, that the woman you love started making eyes at every handsome young man on every street corner. That she sighed and smiled at every pretty young thing that walked by. That you could tell every time she looked at you, all she saw was disappointment and delusionment. Imagine that.
That would be gut-wrenching and difficult, I sighed.
Yes, she smiled. So I decided to do something about it. I'd had enough of the sighing and eye-rolling. I decided to get into the game, take Enhancacine, and have some fun.
I coughed. The conversation had suddenly taken a major deviation. Your partner? I asked timidly.
Couldn't get rid of him quick enough. I'd done my time, raised 2 kids, attended to all his needs, supported his career and stunted emotional needs, which were on par with a 2-year-old. It was time for me to have some fun. Me time. Now my libido is back, and sex is so much better when you are experienced and comfortable in your body.
Thank you for being so honest, I replied, somewhat embarrassed. I'll return before pack-out tomorrow and let you know.
She smiled. I know. Bye.
I arrived home with a frown. Hedonism percolated in my brain.
Are you okay, Jack? Aang asked.
I looked at my long-suffering wife, then turned on the memory dispenser. I'm fine, I answered. I went to the latest trade show.
Oh, you see anything interesting? She asked, poking her head out of the kitchen, hair up, apron on, steam rising in the background.
Nah.
I scrolled through the memory index and selected the files from our wedding day. Holograms instantly filled our living room. The sounds of people laughing, glasses clinking, conversation, and elevator music filled the room. It's been a while since you played those, Aang called out.
Gosh, I replied. You were so beautiful. I can't believe you said yes.
Well, you weren't so bad yourself, you know. You were quite a catch. I was the happiest woman in the world that day.
You're just saying that.
No, it's true.
Hey, Aang, can you come here, sit with me?
I'm busy reconstituting eggs.
They can wait. Come sit with me. I need to ask you something.
Aang walked through a holographic image of herself. She was not the same woman. The woman in the holograph was excited, optimistic. There was life in her eyes, a fire in her belly. The woman beside me was content. She was comfortable. Her fire had been reset to glow. I reflected in my hologram that the hungry eyes, the gnawing feeling in my gut that enough was not good enough, was still there. There was nothing wrong with me, with us. Perhaps I saw things differently after learning about Enhancacine.
Are you happy? I asked.
Yes, you know I am.
Have you achieved all that you want to achieve, though?
I have 2 beautiful children, a boy and a girl, a lovely apartment, the latest sky chariot, and currency is not a problem. I'd say I've achieved what I wanted. I also have a sweet husband who has started asking some strange questions. What's up, Jack?
If you could, would you go back and do it all again?
What again?
Turn the years back. Become young again.
No, I don't think so. I'm happy. I'm an ESFJ. We're a contented bunch. Where's this question coming from?
Well, at the trade show, a woman was selling a pill that could have your age. I could take one tonight and wake up tomorrow aged 23.
Bullshit.
I know, pretty whacked out, but it appeared kosher.
Was she blonde and young?
Yep.
I see. Remember the time you bought that fission-powered stair treader? Oh, and the autonomous paint robot? Remember that?
How can I forget? I laughed.
Well, if my memory serves me correctly, on both of those occasions, the salesperson was a cute young woman.
What can I say? I'm a man. There was silence as Aang and I watched ourselves exchanging our vows.
Sickness and health, till death do us part. Do you still believe in our vows? She asked, drilling into my eyes. I sense you're troubled.
You know me better than anyone.
Well then, do you?
Yes, but...
I knew it! She laughed, slapping me gently on my thigh. Come on then, spill the beans. What's up?
Forgive me, Aang, but it's my goddamn hormones. The way I'm wired, the way all men are wired, I guess, means there's a sexual mismatch between us. I love you with all my heart. I honestly do, but the testosterone still coursing through my system means I want to jump every young woman I spy.
You silly, dirty old man, she scolded. Those women see you as an unattractive, overweight blob with hypertension and skin tags. You're as attractive and useful to them as a wimple on a space cap. But for me, well, I still see you as the young man in the hologram. And like wine essence, you age very well. Do I not make you happy? She asked softly before returning to the kitchen. She didn't wait for my response and was soon lost in her egg reconstitution. Neither of us slept well that night. What are you doing today?
Aang asked as she passed the coffee infuser during our breakfast. Going back to the trade show. I said I'd let the saleswoman know what I intended to do about Enhancacine.
Jack, just so you know, I may be happy, but I want you to be happy too. I will support whatever you decide.
My brain filled with puddles. Pools of dirty, cold water dampened me, flooded my thoughts, and then sloshed about, making clarity impossible. I'd reached an intersection. One river of thinking led me to comfortable acceptance, the other toward the fertile, uncharted waters of possibility. "Okay," was the best response I could come up with. "See you later." The woman's skirt was shorter, her bob straighter. I could see she was wearing slightly more makeup, not that she needed to, with near-perfect skin. Her lashes were as long, dark, and appealing as curled chocolate shavings. "Good morning," she welcomed in a vibrant, half-sing-songy way.
"Nice to see you again."
"And you," I replied cautiously. Silence fell between us. She stood there, refusing to fill the space. She was good at her job, well trained. "I've decided to take the interactive ethics questionnaire," I said. "Is it possible to do this before I finally commit?"
"Yes, of course, especially in your case, as I know you are value-driven and conscientious."
The questionnaire only took 45 minutes and involved pushing buttons on a pre-programmed preference bot.
"You passed with flying colors, as I knew you would," the saleswoman cooed afterwards. "No problem areas identified. So, what do you say? Will you proceed to purchase?"
"How much is it?" I asked.
50,000 currency is nothing when you think about how it will change your life."
"That's more than I earn in 3 years.
Life-changing, though. I know you are a man who is focused on the future, and with Enhancacine, the future for you is unwritten. You can influence it, take control of your destiny. So, what do you say?"
I looked skyward this time. The ceiling had not changed. I exhaled a breath, creased my brow. "Okay then, go on," I said. I got home just after lunch.
"How did you get on?" Aang asked as I walked through the door.
"Not sure," I said.
"What do you mean, not sure? Did you buy it or not?"
"Yeah, I bought it, but we need to talk."
"I'm all ears," she said.
"No, I mean really talk. Can you come here and sit beside me?"
"Oh, if I must," she said, feigning petulance.
"This pill," I said as she settled next to me. "This pill can be taken any time, but it's best taken in the evening with a glass of water. We will need to tell the kids, so we need to work out what to tell them."
"Are you taking it tonight?" Aang asked.
I laughed. "Sorry, Aang. I'm not taking it. You are." Roly Andrews lives in Nelson, New Zealand. In his spare time, he enjoys tramping and cracking jokes. After many years of practicing, Roly is still learning to play the trombone, dreaming of playing in a ska band one day. A champion for everyone, he has previously mentored rough sleepers in London and supported people affected by suicide. He is a strong advocate for the rights of people living with disabilities. You can find him at his website, rolyandrewsauthor.com, or on Facebook and Twitter using the links down in the description. Hey guys, hope you liked that story. This one I wanted to put on the show because I've been looking for stories about longevity. There's a lot of signs that are pointing to this becoming a major issue in the coming decades, maybe even less than 10 years. Scientists are really starting to make some impressive headway when it comes to extending lifespan, and we're approaching what is known as escape velocity, which is that for every year that you're alive, scientists make it so that your life expectancy increases by more than a year, essentially making it so that we don't die of old age anymore. This obviously has a lot of impacts on culture and society and just everything you can think, from overpopulation to food. It's a major, major issue to be talked about. And as somebody who likes to stay on the cutting edge of this field, I think that stories are a great way for us to kind of pick apart some of these issues. For instance, in this one, where you touch on what happens if one spouse doesn't want to become young where the other one does, or what does it do to the family? It's questions that we'll have to ask. I don't think anybody's going to be having their age in 24 hours, but it is something that is coming. The therapies are starting to show some extremely promising results, and we need to start thinking about this before it hits. Anyway, it's just a thought. I hope you guys liked this story. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up and a comment if you're on YouTube. Or if you're listening to the podcast version, just be sure to subscribe for more brand new short stories. I'm Chris Herron, and that's it for today's Tall Tale TV.